Hello, it is Charlotte again from the Grace Eyre Foundation. Hello, I'm going to put my sunglasses on because it is really sunny out here. Now, as you can see, I am outside. I'm in my own garden. I'm lucky enough to have a garden. But I thought today I would do a little video on, if you're feeling a bit bored, what you can do to grow some stuff. Now, we know that gardening is really good for our mental health. Research is coming in all the time about how it is an excellent way to manage low mood, anxiety, and other feelings that can be really difficult to live with. I've gotten into gardening in a really big way this year, but I'm still really new to it, so I am by no means an expert, so I am still learning the basics. So I thought today we could do a simple potting exercise. So I've got my, hopefully you can see this, very stuffed seed tub here, and I thought we could do sunflowers because they are bright, they are beautiful, and they actually tend to grow quite nicely. So I've got two types of sunflower in here, but I think we'll do this one called Pacino Gold, but it really doesn't matter which sunflower you choose. If you've got a pack already, use that. Getting the seeds at the moment has been difficult, but there are still places you can get them. So I know that my local supermarket, which is a Tesco, are selling seeds. You can get some seeds online on Amazon, and you might have some local shops as well that are still selling seeds. So just ask around when you're going out for your walk. If you are staying at home, if you have to stay at home, maybe someone in your house could have a look for you or help you on the internet. Maybe a family member or a friend already has loads of seeds like this and they are happy to share. So anyway, most flowers do okay in a pot. There are some that don't like to live in a pot and will need to go in the ground, but most flowers are fine in pots. So what we're going to do is get a pot of any size really. I've got, you can see here, quite a big collection of old pots that I've just saved because I'm a bit of a hoarder, but it's good for activities like this. If you don't have any of these pots lying around, again, a family member or a friend might do. Any pot will do, but you want to have drainage holes. So if you can see here, this has got holes in the bottom. If you don't have a pot with holes in the bottom, you might be able to make the holes yourself. Carefully, of course, or get someone who is quite handy to do that. But you can use anything really. In the pound shop they do these little peat pots that are really great for seed sowing. You can see that it's quite small though, so the reason I started off this sunflower in a bigger pot is because sunflowers we know get quite big, and I don't want the faff of having to take it from a small pot and put it in a medium pot. I'm just going to grow it in this. Right, we've got the seeds. Let's go for a pot. I'm going to choose this one purely because it's yellow and the sunflower's yellow, but any pot will do. Now I've got some compost that I've just saved. You might have a bag of compost, or again someone you know might be willing to give you a couple of handfuls of compost. Again, it's quite difficult to get hold of at the moment, but there are still places that are selling it, so ask around, see where you can get some. If you've got a garden, just take up a couple of handfuls from a flower bed if you can. So I'm going to just literally get my hands into the compost that I've got, shove it in the pot here. Always read the back of a seed packet if you can, or get someone else to read the back of a seed packet, because sometimes they need quite specific instructions. Now, sunflowers can be grown indoors until about May, so we've got plenty of time. This one says to cover with 1.5 centimetres of compost. Now, I never measure properly, but 1.5 centimetres is pretty small. So what I'll do then is I will add a bit more here just to bring it near the top. And I will now grab my seed. So it's close to the top here, you can see, but not quite full yet because we still want to put the seed in. So we'll get our sunflower seed. Careful when you're doing this because it can go everywhere. I speak from experience. I've got a couple there, so just take a sunflower seed, pop it here, just lay it on the top, and if you remember, we just put then a little bit of a blanket of compost over it. Now, I think that should be fine. Like I said, as long as you don't bury it kind of halfway down the pot, you'll be fine. Obviously, if you put the seed in too deep, it's not going to be able to reach the surface. It will die essentially before it gets to the light. So have it quite near the top. Give it a little blanket of compost, and then water it in. So that's important as well. I'm going to be careful with my water, but what we'd quite like to see is some water coming out the bottom. So I'll just wait a little bit, again, because we don't want to gush it. I'm going to be quite careful with the seed. I'm going to give it another water now, just so that I know all of the compost is nice and wet. If you're growing this inside, you might want to put a little plate or a dishcloth underneath, just to catch the water, because you'll probably have some water coming out underneath. I think the water's coming through. We'll wait for a bit. So you can see the compost is nice and wet. We have the seed in there. The seed's not, so have a little check after you've watered it. The seed's not showing. Sometimes what can happen is when the seed is, before it's started developing the plant, it can be dislodged and the compost might kind of show the seed. If that happens and you can see the seed after watering, just really gently with one finger brush some compost back onto it. It won't do it any harm, but just always be really careful with seeds. Right, well, this doesn't want to drain, but I've definitely put enough water in, so there you go. Really simple, but hopefully something really nice to do for yourself, for your windowsill. If you're lucky enough to have a garden or a patio, now's the time to get your sunflowers growing. I've got a couple that I started growing a couple of weeks ago, so I'll show you. We've got some growth, which I'm really happy about, because I tried to grow some before that and a slug ate them. So I've got two sunflowers that are looking pretty nice, and you can see they're in the similar size pot with drainage holes. One last tip, that can live in there quite happily now, your sunflower seed. Hopefully you'll be seeing some green emerge. Sunflowers are quite quick, maybe for a week, or maybe in a week or 2 weeks you should be seeing something. If you're not, it's probably because the seed was a bit duff and it's not going to work, so just try again. You get so many in a packet, it really doesn't matter if a couple don't take. One last tip, leave it on your windowsill or in your garden, wherever you like it. It needs a bit of light, so don't stick it kind of in your dark bathroom or whatever. put it somewhere where it's going to get a bit of light. You'll know when it needs moving to a bigger pot because you'll start to see roots poking out from the holes. So this one might be a good example actually. No, we don't have roots yet on that one. We don't have roots on that one either. So you'll start to see little white wormy roots coming out from the hole, and that means that the plant has grown big enough for the pot and it will need to be moved on. But we are quite a bit of time away from that. So this is going to sit on my windowsill. And yeah, if you guys are doing any seed sowing, or if you are getting green fingered, please do make a video or send a photo, because it's something I love. I think it's so good for all of us to be doing more of, particularly with everything being so odd and strange right now. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're gardening. Catch you guys soon. See you then.